What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be making a guide for the Frenzy Barbarian. I'm going to be trying to take you through the skills, the stats, the gear, the mercenary, the breakpoints, all the stuff that you need to know to play this character from start to finish and have a great time. So let's jump in. First, starting out, of course, we have the Barbarian. You can see he's a pretty tanky boy. He's got some great starting stats, massive life per vitality point, that is the highest in the game, and great life per character level as well. So very, very, very tanky. And if you look in the bottom right, his frames are also super good. So you're saying, wow, Barbarian must be the best character in the game. Something like that. Moving on. We have the final skill tree right here. This is how I would ultimately skill it at level 99. I have maxed out Frenzy, I've maxed out Double Swing, I've maxed out Battle Orders for the big life, maxed out the Axe Mastery, and then the points in Taunt, because that is going to be adding, you can see, damage per level as well right there. So that is how I've ordered it. I've got my 1 point in Battle Cry, Battle Command, Increased Speed, and natural res in addition to leap and leap attack. And these are all kind of 1 point wonders that are great for the character. So this is actually one of the better melee builds in the game. Frenzy, and probably one of the best Barbarian builds in the game for playing through. So definitely a decent character there. But your question might be, Mr. Llama, that's all good and dandy, but I'm level 22. How do I get to there? That's the common question a lot of people ask. And that's great. I'm glad that you asked. So the way I like to do it is on level 1, I like to go into Mace Mastery. Level 2 into Bash. Excuse me, you don't start at level 1. Level 2 into Mace Mastery. 3 Bash. 4, 5 into Mace Mastery. Den of Evil Point into Mace Mastery. That's what I usually call like 1. And then 6 into Double Swing, where I'm going to now start spamming in Double Swing. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right. You can keep going Double Swing. Additionally, after I get about 6 to 9 points here, you can actually see the mana cost is negative. So I actually gain mana when I hit stuff. So when I get the mana cost down to 0, I like to usually switch back to Mace Mastery and start putting points there, because that generally ends up being better. At some point, I like to get a point in Leap, usually around level like 14 Leap. Then I can go like level 15, 16, save 17, whatever. And then on 18, I can get Battle Orders and Leap Attack at the same time, which is just nice. Leap Attack gives you a further leap than just 1 point in Leap will. So I like it for that. Then, of course, you can go back to just maxing out your Mace Mastery, and just at level 23, you want to get Double Throw, so that at level 24, you can put a point into Frenzy. Oh, sorry, Bow is 24. Excuse me. At level 24, you want to save that point for Frenzy and Battle Orders. That was my bad. Additionally, if you want, you can also save a point to get increased speed at level 24 and just kind of hit 1, 2, 3 all at the same time. Then I'm going on Frenzy. At level 28, I'm probably going here. At level 29, I'm going, or I guess level 29, I'm going there. So then at level 30, I can get both Natural Resist, right, saving one of those points, and Battle Command at the same time. And then I'm just going to keep maxing up Frenzy. So ultimately, I'm really just kind of hitting those 1 point wonders whenever it comes time for that. In the meantime, I'm putting points into Mace Mastery and then Frenzy. And then after that, I'll keep putting points in Double Swing, and then after that, I can come over here, and 1 point in Battle Cry, honestly, is another one of those 1 point wonders that you probably should get when you can get it. But after that, you can start putting your points into Taunt to help out your damage there as well, right? Why Mace? Mace is what I like to start with. Scepters and Flails are very good early on in the game, so I like having Mace Mastery early on. Later on, I'm probably going to respec into Swords or Axes, because late game, you're not really using 2 maces very often. But starting out, that's generally a great point is, yes, Scepter that you can buy from Akara, or a Flail that you can get from Farah or whatever is going to be really strong early on in the game. So that is my starting, but like I say, eventually you'll respec probably into Axe if you're using like Berserker Axes, or Sword Master if you're using Face Blades. Kind of where you end up overall with this character, right? So you can go ahead and put some swords, because I got some swords and whatever stuff on. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into some of the stats now. So what do you want to do for stats? Well, you want to use enough strength for your gear. And you can see that, like, okay, that's enough right there to get it where it'll all wear. Enough dexterity for your gear. And then everything else is going to go into vitality. That's always going to be the way. So make sure that with your torch, with your Annie, with all your charms, with the boost that you're going to get from your Ariats and whatever stuff, that you'll not be over slamming points into strength and dexterity. Just really doesn't get you near as much value as another point into vitality. Definitely want to aim for that. So statting up as I'm playing through the game, I like to get 41 strength and 35 dexterity. This is because that's enough to use flails. And then everything else pretty much goes into vitality. I'll probably put a little bit more into strength and dex as I go on if I want to like upgrade to some better weapons that I find. Maybe I get some bloodletters and I want to use those, you know, whatever it is for those requirements. But otherwise, I'm not putting anything additional. I'm just waiting, and everything is jamming into vitality, right? Now, continuing on, let's get into some of the gear. So one of the kind of standard builds, and please note that I have this in 2 separate weapons. You're going to want either 2 swords or 2 axes, so you're not having to max 2 masteries. So pretend like these are in the same weapon. But I like Grief. Grief is kind of a main hand must almost. This is like the best weapon in the game, so it's just fantastic. On your offhand, you can have another Grief. You can have a Botted. You can have a Doom. You can have a Death. You could have, I mean, it really is just kind of up to you what you're looking for with it. They each kind of provide their own different things. So, you know, any of these big old tanky, awesome rune words are really going to help and benefit there. But honestly, 2 Griefs even is just kind of disgusting. But a lot of people like to have also like Doom for the Holy Freeze. Makes it a little safer and you get a little more fun with all of that stuff, right? On swap, I just have +3 war cries. This is because CTA doesn't matter on a barbarian. It's not going to give you more than +3 battle orders and battle command there. So you might as well just get 3 war cries spears instead. Much cheaper, much easier. For the helm, Ariat's face. This is just kind of generally an accepted best in slot Barb helm for a lot of builds. So many good stats and everything on it. High Lords is super nice. IAS, plus the skills. Deadly Strike. That's really the main reason people love it. Fortitude for the massive ED. Laying of Hands for the damage to demons. The IAS, the fire res. Cannot be frozen. Has to be somewhere in your gear. Ravenfrost is the best in slot general place people get it. If it's not here, though, you need to have it somewhere else. Verdungo's for the vitality, the damage reduced, some of the hit recovery. Some people might also like a string of ears because they want more of that lifesteal. Bull Cathos here has a little lifesteal, has some life and skills on it. And, you know, a lot of people like it for the big life. And Gore Riders for the Deadly Strike, the Crushing Blow, and the Open Wounds. So this is a pretty general idea of what you're going to see. And then a lot of charms that are max damage and attack rating and life charms and combinations of those. That's what you're going to want to have in your inventory right there. So that is one of the ways to really play this game and play this character, I should say, and do really well. But what if you're not quite as rich, right? Well, or what if you're leveling and you don't have those things? What are some alternatives to this? One great alternative could be Oath Runeword. It's very nice. Black Runeword is also very nice. Let me see if I have a black over here. I might have one in a flail. No, I don't. Darn. Black Runeword gives nice crushing blow, super good. Alder's Rhythm is super nice, just a lot of damage on it. Nord's Tenderizer, which is right there. So really we're just looking for like damage, speed, I mean really those 2 things. And then crushing blow can be helpful and some Deadly Strike can be helpful, things like that. But damage and speed is like the main pieces. So just some big damage sticks like this, or the Redeemer is a big damage stick. I mean, even Dark Clan Crusher is okay at level 34. Flesh Render's not as great damage at level 38. You know, a lot of just wacky whack sticks are great. Before that, Malice is super good. Steel is super nice. Even just a Tal flail at level 17. This is fantastic damage at level 17. This is fantastic damage at level 15, right? So these sorts of things can carry you all the way through normal, and then you can try and get a little bit better weapon heading into Nightmare and going on from there. Strength can be nice, but it doesn't quite have enough like added damage. So you do get the Crushing Blow. This is great for like bosses, but you'll want higher damage things such as an Honor, right, with 160 ED. Level 27, this is a great upgrade for you. You can get these runes from the Nightmare Countess. So I would definitely recommend moving into these sorts of rune words, or just like I say, finding some big old damage sticks that you can just whack around with, finding a bloodletter or whatever it is. That's all fun. For armors, stealth is a great starting armor. If you can get yourself a twitch throw, that would be even better. Get yourself some nice IAS, which is really going to be helpful here. Duress is a fantastic upgrade for you. Get some Crushing Blow and Open Wounds added, on top of some nice cold damage, hit recovery, resistance. All of that is super good. Lionheart isn't bad. We definitely would generally want a little bit more, but this gives you lost survivability and stats, which is helpful. Smoke gives you some nice resistances. Cannot Be Frozen from Duriel Shell and Spirit Shroud can both be nice. Like I said, you need that from some piece of gear. Treachery is amazing if you happen to find a Lemrune. Don't put it at Ethereal. This is for your Mercenary here, but you can make yourself a Treachery and just get a ton of great attack speed, fade, venom. I mean, it's super, super solid for this character. In terms of rings and ammies, Angelic Set gives massive attack rating and dexterity, and also 75 to life. So it's really good. This is one of the best 2-piece sets that gets used even on some like endgame characters if they're struggling with attack rating still. This is just an easy way to put it on until you find like everything that you need to really fix it. Additionally, you could get something that's just like a rare ring with good attack rating, some strength, life, resistances, all of that. Mahim Oak would be nice. Seraph's Hymn would be nice. Atmas would be nice. There's really a lot of those things. For Death's Guard, for a belt, once again, Cannot Be Frozen. If you don't have it somewhere, even something like this is great. And if you also get Death's Hand, it's a really nice combination piece. The Saigon's pieces, your boots and belt combo, boots, belt, like glove, is a really nice little like combination for early melee characters. String of Ears is nice. Gold Wrap is nice. Nosferatu's Coil is nice, getting the IAS right there. Big life belts are nice because you're getting the buff from battle orders, which is going to help it even more. You're not using a shield. So for helmets, just going into big resistances can be super good for the character. Additionally, you could get something like a lore if you want to get the plus to skills. Plus to skills is okay on this character. Once again, you're probably going to want to focus more on like a rock stopper with big res and the damage reduction and all of that stuff. But, there's still like, hey, I just need resistances. I'm just going to stack res. Or this gives me skills, some vitality, and some faster run walk. Yeah, that seems pretty helpful. Like, all of these things are still nice helms that you can get. Additionally, you can use things like Tau Rashas, right? Get you res, life, and mana, and lifesteal. You can use Crown of Thieves. You can use Gaze, right? Any of those mercenary helms can also be good for this character. For gloves, we want IAS. We want increased attack speed. Bloodfist are nice. Sanders are nice. Just shop some dang IAS gloves, worst case, right? That's super nice. There's the other set, the Magnus skin gloves. I think I have 20 IAS on them as well, right? I think that's the name of them. Let's go over there really fast. Yeah, Magnus skin, 20 IAS, 100 attack rating. That's fantastic, right? So a lot of things you can find for IAS, but like I said, you can even just buy a pair if you really want to eventually. For boots, Gore Riders, Goblin Toe is going to be your best because you want the Crushing Blow, IAS, Open Wounds, all that stuff. If you can't get that, get yourself some Hisaris boots. Get yourself some Water Walks. Get yourself some Infernos. Get yourself some Alders or some Nat boots or just some rare boots with res and all of this. Boots are one of the best places to really just like stack in resistances. So if you can get some nice faster run walk boots with life, with resistances, just a really good place to kind of add that in until you get those gores, which are really going to help your damage, and you'll get your res from other things and all of that stuff. So that kind of covers your character right there. In terms of a mercenary, I would get an Act 2 mercenary. You can get a Might or Holy Freeze. These are going to come from Act 2 Nightmare. I prefer a Might mercenary on this character because I'm benefiting from the Might a ton, so it's going to really increase my damage. If you want a little more safety, Holy Freeze is also really nice. So I would use Reaper's Toll, Fortitude, and Andes. Reaper's Toll is going to have the chance for Decrepify, which is going to increase the physical damage that they take and can break immunities, which is really nice for our character. Fortitude is just massive damage. I mean, we use it as well, and is just going to be really like massive damage for him, and also some survivability. And Andes is damage on attack speed and lifesteal, which is also really nice for the character right there. So this is kind of your like standard setup, but additionally, if you can't afford those things, Obedience is cheap and really solid for the character. Insight is cheap and really solid for the character. You don't even have to make these in ethereal cryptic axes or anything. You can just find whatever pole arm and just shove them in there and make it happen, make it work. Tomb Reaver is going to be a nice big damage stick. Bone Hew's going to be a nice damage stick. For armors, you could get Treachery, you could get Shaft Stomp, you could get Gladiator's Bane, you could get Leviathan. I mean, there's a lot of armors with damage reduction, life, resistances, attack speeds, things like that. All of that's going to be good for the mercenary. You want him to be very tanky, have good res, attack fast, and have lifesteal. It's pretty much what you want. In terms of helmets, Crown of Thieves, once again, Talrashes, Gaze, the same sorts of things that would be good for your character will also be good for your mercenary. And so those are kind of some nice options. There's a lot of other helms. You can even just, stack them with like one of the helms that you made there before. That's a nice helm for a mercenary. Just get him some stuff to be more survivable, make him a little bit tankier, make him a little bit stronger so he doesn't die so quickly. And I think that pretty much kind of covers for this character. I'm going to show you one more build for it because this is actually my build. This is the Frenzy Speedy Barbarian. So he runs a little bit differently. He has Cat's Eye, Mavinas, and then he runs faster run walk charms, has max increased speed maxed out a little bit more. Not maxed out, but added more points. And his whole point is to be very fast. But he also still is a nice little fighter. So this is one of my favorite builds in the game because, like I say, it's just kind of why teleport around when you can just run to the next boss group in the same amount of time that it would be for teleporting purposes. All of this is legit. There's nothing hacked about this. He's a very fun character and definitely one of my favorites because who doesn't just want to run insanely fast? But then as soon as you play any other character, you'll be like, this is the slowest game in the world. Like, this character sucks. So that's the only downside, as soon as you get on anything else. So yes, it's massively fast, but this is just kind of one way that you can play around with Frenzy. And yeah, I use Grief and Last Wish, and it's an expensive build for sure. But it's a lot of fun. So anyways, that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this was fun for you and you learned a little bit about the Frenzy Barbarian. Hopefully you want to make one now, or maybe you decided, I just don't want to make any barbs. But whatever it is, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on the guide, anything I can improve, your thoughts about the character, all of that stuff. Regardless, peace, YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe.